Saddleback Educational Publishings. Saved by Science. After school, Kara Miller went to her bedroom. She closed the door. The room was more than a place to sleep. It was also her science lab. Projects filled every corner. The school science fair was coming up. Kara wanted to enter. She just needed the right project. There was a sudden knock on the door. Her dad opened it and came into the room. He looked worried. "Hi, dear. I made a big mistake. Do you have time to help me out?" Kara jumped up. "Don't touch anything." Her dad was known to be clumsy. "Oh." Mr. Miller stepped back. He looked at her desk. "Where did you get a blue cabbage?" "I made it. It sits in that tray. See? There was blue water in the tray. The cabbage drinks the water from a cut stem. And poof, blue cabbage." Her dad stared at her. "Get it?" Kara asked. "Sure," he said. "It's like magic." "No," Kara replied. "It's science. Think of the way blood travels in your body. That is how the blue water moves through the cabbage." "That's great, honey," he said. "Listen, I need your help. Grandma is coming for dinner. She will be here very soon." "Isn't that next week?" Kara sat down at her desk and got back to work. "You said her birthday was Tuesday." "I was wrong. It's today." "Dad," she sighed. "It gets worse," he said. "There is no time to buy groceries." Kara did not look up. Her latest project required focus. She stuck a wire into a lemon. More wires sat on her desk. "Can we reschedule?" she asked. "No," her dad replied. "I forgot her birthday last year." "Just order takeout." Kara fiddled with her wires. "How about pizza?" "We can't do that. I promised I would cook." Mr. Miller rubbed his chin. "You don't cook." "Well, not much." "I know," he replied, "but she was so happy about it. There is no way I can take it back." "We must have some food, right?" Kara's dad shook his head. "I'm not sure. This cabbage was lost to your experiments. That means no coleslaw." "Sorry, Dad. I have homework to do. You will think of something." He started to leave. Then he turned back. "Wait, did you get those lemons from the fridge? I need them." "Check this out," Kara grinned. She held up 2 lemons. Each had 2 pieces of metal sticking out of it. One is copper wire, the other is steel. I used a paper clip. "Okay, what is it?" her dad asked. Kara handed him a lemon. "Lick the wires." He gave her a funny look, but he did what she said. Zap! "I felt it." Mr. Miller gave the lemon back. There was definitely a little zing. What was that? "Energy," she replied. "I made a battery with lemons and metal. Cool, right?" "Very cool," he said, nodding. "Let me see your watch," Kara said. "I bet I could power it." Mr. Miller looked at his watch. "Dinner! If I don't start now, there is no way I will finish before Grandma gets here." He hurried back to the kitchen. Kara shook her head. "Good luck," she yelled. She went back to her projects. Every few minutes, noises erupted from the kitchen. Bowls were dropped. Pots and pans crashed. "Are you okay?" Kara called out to her dad. "Fine," he called back. "Got it." Kara lost track of time. Finally, she stood up and stretched. Her stomach was rumbling. The clock showed an hour had passed. It was almost time for dinner. "Please come set the table, Kara," her dad called. "Grandma will be here soon." She walked into the kitchen. It was a mess. Dishes filled the sink. The counter was dusted with flour. Sauce had splattered on the stove. "Wow," Kara said, "you have been busy. Did you make a birthday cake?" "No," her dad frowned. "Just pasta with meatballs. We have no cake, but I baked a frozen pie. It just came out of the oven." "Birthday pie?" "Yes," he replied. "It will have to do, and we will both be happy about it." Kara clapped her hands. "Birthday pie! I love birthday pie." Mr. Miller handed Kara a bowl. There was bread in it. She set it on the table. "Where is the butter?" she asked. "Butter?" Mr. Miller gasped. "I forgot. We have none. Grandma loves butter on her bread. What are we going to do?" Kara looked in the fridge. There was a carton of cream. "I put that in my tea," her dad said. "Do you want butter?" Kara asked. "Yes. What are you going to do?" "You will see." Kara poured the cream into a bowl. Then she got out a hand mixer. "Here." She gave the mixer to her dad. "Whip this cream. I'll set the table." "But how will this solve the butter problem?" he asked. "It's science," Kara said. "Cream contains fat. Whipping it adds air. The air makes the fat lump together. First you get whipped cream. Keep whipping. The cream will turn into a solid. Then you have butter. There will be liquid left over too. This is buttermilk." "Wow, I hope it works." Mr. Miller stood and mixed the cream. Then he looked at the clock. "The table has to look nice. It's her birthday." This sparked an idea. Kara ran to her room. Soon she came back with the blue cabbage. "We can't eat that," her dad said. "Your grandma would faint." She laughed. "It's not to eat. This will become our centerpiece for the table." Kara tore apart the cabbage leaves. She put them on a plate. "Do we have a candle?" she asked. "I don't think so." "Okay, then I will make one," Kara said. "How? There is no time." Kara ran to the pantry. She found a bag of nuts. "Those are pecans," Mr. Miller said. "Candles are made of wax." "Just wait and see." Kara opened the fridge. "We had a block of cheese. Where did it go?" "Over here." Her dad pointed at the counter. "But don't eat it. I found some mold on it. It needs to be thrown out." "Perfect. Nobody is going to eat it. The mold can be cut off." With a knife, Kara trimmed the cheese. Then she cut a hole in the center and stuffed it with a few pecans. She set the cheese on the plate in the middle of the cabbage leaves. "What is that?" her dad asked. Kara grabbed some matches from a drawer. With a flick, she lit one and touched it to the pecans. A flame rose. "See? Nuts have oil in them. They burn like firewood." "And poof," her dad said, "you have a candle." Kara smiled. "Yes, something like that." Mr. Miller looked down at his bowl. A thick yellow lump sat in the middle. Thin liquid pooled around it. He turned off the mixer. "Look," he exclaimed, "I made butter." Ding dong! Their guest was at the door. "Coming!" Kara called. The kitchen was a mess, but they did not care. Dinner was ready just in time. Mr. Miller walked to the door. Kara went with him. "Thank you," he said, kissing her forehead. She smiled. "Don't thank me. Thank science." He smiled back. "Oh, and Dad?" "What, dear?" "You have butter on your face."